Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for the Making Progress channel, video number 1 in our Hopefully Forever series, Why Physical Jobs Are Going Nowhere Fast. There are lots of amazing advances in robotics all the time. I'm a huge fan of robotics. I'm a huge fan of advances, Progress channel. And I've been super bullish about this whole robotic revolution, but I think there are some people that are fantastically too bullish about it. In the wrong way, in the negative way, in the sense that they fear that very soon, within just a few years, robots will just take all of our jobs and there will be massive robotic unemployment, robotically caused unemployment, for humans, that is. And I think that idea is probably incorrect, and I'm going to tell you why. And like most of these lectures, it's all kind of good news with a few caveats. So here's the thing. I'm quite certain, probabilistically of course, that computer-only artificial general intelligence, which means on a computer can do, an AI can do pretty much every cognitive task as well as or better than a human. And I think that's only a few years away at most. Maybe 2026 and maybe 2027, but probably not even 2028, probably sooner than that. And the same month-ish, several month period that this artificial general intelligence in the digital space only, in computer space only, online, the same month as it's vetted as like, whoa, like it does all digital work as well as a human, is kind of the same month in which it starts to be used all over the world by like millions of people to help with various jobs. And the online work landscape is forever changed in an exponential, massive way. So that by like 2028, 2029, there are dozens and dozens of online jobs that just humans do not do anymore that they're doing today. And dozens of online jobs that require humans to do them because humans have a value add that like just didn't exist several years ago. So on that front, within 1 to 3 years, the online workspace is going to be just radically changed for sure. And it's going to mean some people lose their jobs. It's going to mean most of those people, almost all of them, get better jobs in some other part of some other industry, including just different kinds of online work. But the disruption there is absolutely real and it's pretty much imminent. However, people sometimes take this, I think, true thing and end up saying like, yep, and robots are going to do that in the physical world at basically the same time. And then everyone's going to be out of a job. And then we're all going to starve as mega greedy corporations with robot security guards. Good profit. Just blood sucking. Scott, what like they're wearing like a tuxedo all the time, these CEO guys, right? And they're overweight to like tell you, the viewer, that they suck and they're ugly and they have attractive women around them, but the women look skeeved out. Everything bad. That's what's going to happen. And I'm here to tell you that's unlikely. I'm here to tell you that the robotic revolution is going to hit later. It's not going to hit in the next 1 or 2 years, or probably even 3 years, in a transformational way. With real world jobs, the disruption is not going to be the same as it is with online work. With online work, as soon as you have one agent, AI agent, that is competent like a human being or better to do pretty much any digital online work, can become an expert by reading thousands of textbooks in a few minutes, all that stuff. As long as you have the compute, and online agents, we already know how much compute they take, and it's a lot, but it's not like a crazy amount. As long as you have like data centers that go online in the next few months, and there's like new data centers going online every few weeks, you just need compute and that's it. Like you go from one agent to like a million agent to a billion agents in like the period of like 1 or 2 years, even less, sometimes just a day. One agent, now it's millions. Everyone gets to use them on the cloud. Just boom, instant scaling, because electrons are real easy to scale. However, that's not the same thing with robots. Robots need at least 2 things one of which greatly enhances their effect, and the other which is critical to their effect whatsoever. The greatly enhancing part of the effect is that robots, to do real world, actual, dirty, relevant tasks, need to do their best. A lot of human labeled data, which means a few things. One, people wear the VR goggles or VR glasses, and as they do their work, all the video is recorded, sent to the cloud. Robots in simulation learn how to do it. They track all the variables. They see all the details. Another one is micro drones or just regular drones that fly around, or cameras set up in the room that watch people do all kinds of various tasks. And that then they collect kind of third-person 3D data. And there needs to be a lot of kind of tier 1 experimental robots out in actual physical conditions doing some tasks, and then out in factory conditions. So laboratory first, then factory with confined spaces, then real world with a lot of supervision, then real world with less supervision, and then eventually real world very complex tasks. Especially tasks that require a lot of responsibility. For example, how long is it going to be until robots are able to take care of a human baby or make sure that a child is properly cared for when mom and dad are not around? It's not so much about capability, because the capability will be there on the cloud within 2 years, probably. Very well labeled data within 5 for all the intricacies and nuances. And then it's going to take a lot longer than that for two things to happen. The probability of error to sink into like the robots are just way better than people at taking care of people. And two, and here's the biggest one, legal liability situation. OpenAI might build an amazing robot, or Figure Robotics or Tesla, but the legal landscape of them being exposed to be like, your robot, did a terrible thing by accident to my kid. Now I don't have a kid anymore. The kid's in pieces or something like that. That is such radioactive just decay for a corporation to get into. They're going to want to gingerly get into that. I'm going to share a quick fact with you. Years now it's been, probably like 5, where on statistical testing alone, robo drivers are better than humans. They're just safer, period. We've waited much longer because legally, no company wants to be the first to be like, fuck it, let the cars drive by themselves. You need orders of magnitude more safe than human in order to be like, look, it's actually just irresponsible not to let the robot drive the car. Okay, fine. So the real world is legally a very dangerous place, because mistakes can cost a lot. And if you have a human, there's somebody to sue. But if the robot does something, either you signed a waiver you would never sign, or the company gets sued, and companies are not interested in getting sued. They much rather build up a ton of capability and only come out when the regulators are like, it's safe, you're not going to get sued, you're good to go. So that's a big deal. But the world is insanely complex, also in a technical sense of like very fine-tuned differences between things. There's being able to do a demonstration in the kitchen, and then there's like, hey, there's like smoke coming out of the oven, and there's a shit beeping, and there's dogs running around, and there's like all kinds of weird textures everywhere. What do you do now? Like, holy crap, like you got to be really good at the real fine-grained world. How woodworkers work wood, how people drill holes into a wall that's like not entirely sturdy, but they kind of have a feel for what's sturdy and what's not. All that stuff, robots can learn completely in simulation to like an unbelievable extent. But that last mile of learning how to apply that in the real world, it's going to take some time. I don't think it's going to take a ton of time, but there are so many crazy jobs humans do. And if you think like, oh, we've already got everything on video, we don't. Most jobs haven't been thoroughly analyzed, every part of the job on video. Not yet. And there are tactile sensations that robots need to go get out there and feel to fine-tune their actuators of how much they're pressing and pulling on various things. There's like a robot internship program that has to happen if you're going to make a welder robot and so on and so forth, so that as a humanoid robot, it can do the same things a humanoid can do, or human can do, rather, and not screw up the forces by just enough to make the whole thing just break into pieces. Never mind surgery and medical and nursing robots, which have to like hit a human vein with a fucking syringe like, oh, holy crap, that's really, really intense stuff, and the margin for error there is teeny tiny. So what you're going to want is just swaths of data that takes probably years to collect. Now, as you collect the data, the robots get better and better and better. They get upgraded. The entire fleet gets upgraded overnight to every single piece of data that they've ever seen. So it's a very tractable problem. But it's a problem that's going to take I don't know, on the training side to get robots to replace all humans at all jobs, hypothetically, that humans are currently doing today that require physical labor. I'm not betting it's going to take any less than 5 years to for sure the robots are able to do it. So that's stumbling block number one. Why'd I say it was relative? Because you can get lots of robots out in the world doing jobs right now, trained only on simulation. They'll be pretty fucking good at it, but they're going to make enough mistakes where people are I don't know, man. I need a human to do this. This part's too fine-tuned. I don't trust a robot. And that's a big deal. The big kicker, and here's the biggest one. I could be completely wrong. We could find a way to train robots in simulation as good as people are trained at fine-tuned real-world gritty tasks. You're going to see a lot of headlines in the next few months that, robots in sim learning without people. Those are absolutely true headlines, but they rarely apply one-to-one to incredibly detailed, complex, real-world tasks with all kinds of crazy changing variables, lighting conditions, the whole thing. That's still going to take a little while. Not maybe forever, but it's still going to take a little while. That all being said, let's say that all gets squashed away in a year. Still, robots are not coming for everyone's job, and here's why. We have currently in the world literally billions of people doing physical work. If you want one-to-one parity, if robots are all actually going to take my job one-to-one, you have to have billions of robots. In the digital space, cloning billions of AI agents is do we have enough data centers for that? Yep, sweet. It's done. The next minute it's done. With robots, the physical world isn't cloning itself yet. When that happens, it'll be fourth industrial revolution. It'll be on steroids. It'll be in the late 2030s. And then abundance is just a crazy thing we can't even imagine yet. It's not there yet. We do not have enough robots right now to do anything other than cool demo videos and put together a few plants in the Figure Robotics BMW factory in Spartanburg, North Carolina, whatever the fuck. We're talking about currently there are hundreds of production-ready robots that can even do factory work. Fuck, real-world work. Nobody's ready for that for real yet at scale. They will be soon, but we still have hundreds of robots. Elon Musk, who's probably the best person in the world at rapid, high-volume production and iteration cycles, by a long shot, is planning for 2026, which isn't here yet, to have I think tens of thousands of Tesla robots roll off the conveyor belt and go to work, usually in factories and not yet in really complex scenarios. Tens of thousands, you guys, if my math isn't off, is orders of magnitude off from the billions we will need to make a serious dent in the job market and really restructure things. This is a huge, huge deal. Now, you guys, if you've ever seen any of my videos before, you already know I'm a psychotic, cocaine, copium smoking, AI, robotics, hyper optimist. You don't need to accuse me of being cynical. I am not. But the reality here is that you can't just wish robots into existence. How do we go from 10,000 robots to 100,000 robots to 1 million robots? By the way, at 1 million robots, and Scott, this makes sense, right? At 1 million robots, we basically haven't impacted the job market at all.
Oh, true. Yeah.
The fuck? 1 million? There's 10 of those people, 10 times that number of people in New York City. It's just one city in the world. What the fuck are we talking about? They can have 1 million robots working out. You hardly would see one for 6 months. That's not going to work. 10 million's not going to work. 100 million starts to be detectable. 1 billion is now what we're talking about. You guys, that's 5 or 6 jumps with a 0 at the end. That's a lot of robots. Here's the 3-tiered problem we're dealing with. We don't have enough robots. Tier 2, we don't have enough factories to make the robots. And we don't have enough people to make the factories that make the robots, because everyone pretty much already has a job. Wait, what the fuck? Yes, that is the nature of the problem. So what we need to do in order to get robots to come out at scale is we need to start building robot construction factories, which the robots can't build yet because you think, but let's have the robots build them. Eventually that'll be a thing. It'll be robots all the way down. But there's not enough robots to build factories yet. So we need tons of human beings to build just oodles of robot factories and continue to build them for 5 to 10 years. Slowly but surely, robots will come in to help with those factories. Remember, if we're making robots for the entire workforce of physical human tasks, and we're like, well, okay, so we need more robots, but we need robots to build the robots. So we're actually going to release 0 robots out for 10 years into human workforce. We're just going to use all of them to build giant, robot army, and then not army in the fighting sense. I should have said that. Giant robot fleet. And then eventually they'll all just spill out. That's not how it's going to happen. The price system is going to be like, okay, some robots are good for building the robot factory. Some robots are going to do food service. Some robots are going to do other factories. Some robots are going to be companionship robots. Scott, the video guy, is going to have several 100,000 robots be his personal sexual companions. That's already spoken for. Figure AI has that contract. So it's super easy. It's going to be a spectrum. And robots are going to be so valuable that they're just going to get sucked right into the economy as quick as possible. And so in order to build that many robots, it is going to be an industrial scale effort of like humanity. And what's going to happen is you're going to have entire economies of humans generated around building robot factories and all of the systems that are needed, mining the materials for robots to be built, making the actual building where they're built, maintaining the building, bringing food service into the building to feed the employees that work there, and then making sure that the food service employees have somewhere to live, home building by the robot factories, and so on and so on and so on. I'm just getting that's just how economics works. So what we have at the end of this discussion is, yes, the robots are coming, but in order to make enough of them to really seriously impact the human workforce dynamics in the real world, optimistically, it's going to be 5 years. Pessimistically, it's going to be 10. Either way, it's a while until humans get displaced from their typical human jobs by robots. That's a big deal. Something that's going to happen in the interim, and I'm actually going to talk about this in the next talk that you'll see next week. And if you're watching this later, go to next week right now, or after I finish blabbing here in a second. What we're going to have is the digital intelligence revolution is going to precede the physical one at scale by 5 or 10 years. So in that interim of 5 or 10 years, we're going to see something really trippy happen. The number of humans required to do online work is going to go down substantially because AI agents will do it. The amount of online jobs for humans like content creator, which AI agents can't do because only you can do because you're the content, that sort of thing, vlog, all that social media shit, that's going to increase like crazy. So a ton more humans are going to do that. But still, because AI agents are going to come help us do digital jobs, there's going to be more people freed up that don't have to do digital work anymore, which is a nice way of saying you're fired, don't come back, you don't need you to go do copywriting. Here's the trippy thing. Just as that happens, all of the companies that are hiring real humans to deal with real humans in any part of the economy to support this massive industrial breakthrough of building as many fucking robots as possible, their jobs are going to be like, just please come in, please. How much money do you want? Please come in and help us build a factory, or at least make the beds for the workers that do, or at least come and entertain the workers that do, or whatever. Scott, I'm thinking like Star Wars Cantina. You're like up there stripping because the workers at the robot factory are drinking late at night and they throw beer bottles at you. Typical job. An important work, I might add. But here's the other trippy thing, and I'll get to this a lot in my next talk. Once AI agents are doing the job of running corporations, they don't have hands. They don't have arms. They can't do anything in the real world. This is not enough robots. And so when you run a corporation, the number one thing you have is an idea. The number two thing you have is a digital ultrastructure built out to how to fulfill that idea, how to create it in the real world. And that last thing is like, so who's actually going to do this for me? Like, Scott, oh, I have a t-shirt brand idea, dildo t-shirts. Everyone's going to love them. Dildos on your t-shirt. I build out the website, and then who makes my t-shirts? Scott, where are t-shirts made?
China.
I guess. And the reality is the number of AI corporations is going to explode in like 2027, 2028. You'll just give money to the AI corporation. It's going to be like, I got this, fam. Here's your 15% year-on-year return, and I keep half, and I just like make this product. Who's going to actually make the product, though? There are so many physical goods that we have to make. The robots are not coming soon enough to help us make them. They will eventually, but they're not here yet. So humans are going to get sopped up like crazy from the labor market in order to go do these two things. One, build more robots and support the economy that does, and two, engage in all the physical tasks that the new AI-assisted corporations are running, because everyone has tons of good ideas about companies. They just can't hire anyone. Like right now, I want to start like a jiu-jitsu gym. I can't. There's not enough buildings around. And I want to employ people to help me run my gym. There's not enough people. Everyone's going to do their own thing. Scott, every now and again, we try to find someone competent to like help us at RP and YouTube. And we realize we just like, everyone already has a job somewhere.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, what am I supposed to do about that? So when corporations are run 1,500 times more competently by nearly infinite AI agents that look out at a market sector, go, no one's doing that. We can for sure make that. We can make this new weird puddle toy that everyone will love. We did the market research online. Everyone's going to love it. Who's going to make that toy? I don't think there's going to be unemployment in any major regard. Again, this is going to age really poorly when we're all out of work and doing the protest thing and robots shooting us with laser guns, that whole sort of thing. But here's the deal. Yes, robots are coming. 100%. We have to build the robots physically in this situation where a lot of people might not even want to do that because they're having ASI or artificial superintelligence on the cloud run their actual corporation and go like, hey, here's your filming schedule as an influencer for today. Or, hey, you're a travel vlogger. You go to these locations. I've already booked everything. Everyone's waiting for you. You just go and you shoot the shit and you upload your shit and I'll edit everything. I'll do the rest. You just go do this. It's going to sop up so much human labor that building robots is going to be like, oh, who the hell's going to work for that? So the market's going to figure that out by pricing it, which means everyone's wages are probably going to go up a whole lot. And then only after 5 or 10 years of that building the robots, do the robots finally come in. And here's the thing. I really do think, and I've done earlier videos about this, and I'll be mentioning it in the video that I do for next week. Once robots are here at scale, they're going to produce so much value that like everyone's going to be too rich to care about jobs and everyone's going to be vibing and doing incredible shit like enhancing their bodies and minds. I really do think that. The way I think that is because I've done a lot of introspecting, and I do some of my best introspecting after I've done sessions of meditation with the Waking Up app, which is, as always, our sponsor. There's a link in the description to get a discount code if you want to get into meditation. It's a really, really good thing. Anyway, I've been Dr. Mike, and I'll see you guys next week for more robot AI crazy shit. See you then.